Grouping is a fundamental feature in the Statseeker product. It's a core mechanic utilised by reporting, thresholds, alerting, visibility and access control, and filtering response data when utilising the API. Statseeker offers the ability to automatically group devices and interfaces as they are discovered, based on rules that you define. You're able to edit those rules at any time and have those changes reflected immediately in the group contents. You can also manually create and edit groups to best suit your requirements. Statseeker version 5.5.4 provided a major UI update to the manual grouping functionality, rolling the 3 manual grouping screens, that's add and edit, entities to a group and groups to an entity, into a single manual grouping interface. In the admin tool, the 3 entries for the old UI components are still there, but all 3 now open the new interface we see here. To add a new group, we simply provide a name, and it's already selected, and we can begin to populate the group. I can select what to drop into the group from the drop down here. Typically, you'll be grouping devices, interfaces, users, or reports, but every entity type is available. We'll stick with devices for now. I'll rename my group to Athens and select all of the devices in the Athens office and move them from the exclude list over to the include list. Back in the console, I can select my new group and run the device details report, and we can see that the selected devices are in the group. I can also run the interface details report, again using the group as a filter, and see that the group also contains the interfaces found on the devices that I just added. Back in the grouping interface, if I change the entity type to interface, we can see that those interfaces are grayed out, indicating that they're inherited entities. Turn inheritance to hide, and we can see that no interfaces have been explicitly added to this group, only inherited. Inheritance works one way from parent down to child. Some of those devices will have CPUs being monitored by Statseeker, or file systems. All are inherited entities within the group. You cannot select or remove inherited entities. Instead, you'll need to remove the parent. If I select multiple groups, I get entities that reside in either group and the option to alter that to only display those that reside in both. The functionality that we've looked at so far covers the old add and edit groups and the entities to a group, but for the other component of groups to an entity, we can either select it from the menu or use the toggle we can see here. From this view, we can select our entity type and then select one or more entities and see what groups those entities are currently in. Remove them from those groups or add them to other groups. Again, we have the option to display groups that any of the selected entities reside in, or we can switch that to only show those groups that house all of the selected entities. We also indicate whether the entity was inherited into the group or added explicitly. And that's a quick look at the reworked manual grouping interface. For other grouping functionality, check out automated grouping.